So I haven't posted any videos in a while, and the main reason is because I haven't really been able to find the motivation to actually make a video. I haven't felt like talking to the camera. I haven't felt like doing much of anything. It's been a really rough couple of months. I've been dealing with some depression and just some anxiety from decisions that I've made in the business and work that has to be done that I just haven't had the energy, the mental ability to face. But thankfully, I've really started to come back out of that, and I've had some motivation to really get some things done. And even today, behind me is the spreadsheet that I went through and just really broke everything down so that I could have it on paper. Not on paper, technically, it's on a spreadsheet, but not just in my head, because I realized when I was going to talk to someone recently that I felt like I knew the situation with my business, but I hadn't really taken the time to dig in and get specific and figure out what was wrong so that I could make a plan to fix it. And because I hadn't gotten specific, it was feeling like it was a really ominous problem that couldn't be solved. And the thing is, the problem can't be solved until you define the problem. So today I spent some time really defining the problem. Even though I knew what the problem was, I didn't know the specifics. I didn't know the numbers. I didn't know how many projects I needed to complete or what stage those projects were at. And I really set the foundation for having that all mapped out today by going back and going through every single order that I've ever received in this business and putting it into a single place where I could look and see where everything was. By the way, I'm drinking a glass of wine while I make this. I just wanted this to be really casual and informal. I did get a new light, so I think it's going to look nice. I actually had another light that I was trying to use kind of for the background, and it looked pretty cool, but it died, and I have the charger in the house. So I'm going to be working on the light and the quality of the video, and I really do want to come up with some sort of content where I can start putting out videos that are worth following, even for someone who doesn't know me. Now, I said when I started these like vlog style videos that it's mainly for me, and that's still the case, but I think that I need to make these at least worthy of watching, even for myself to watch again, so that someone else in a similar scenario could get some value out of that. So what is that scenario? Where am I, and why might you be interested in watching a video that I have to make? So basically, I think often I don't give myself enough credit for all of the things that I know, the things that I've done, and the things that I can do. I feel like I'm never making progress, but I am. I feel like I'm never going to succeed, but I've had many successes. And I think this is a common thing, especially for entrepreneurs who are always chasing the next thing. It really feels like you haven't gotten anywhere. And I look at the past couple of years and I expected to be there faster, and I'm still not there. And that's one of the things that leads to that really depressing feeling. But the thing is, I have made a lot of progress, and I'm confident that in the next year or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is, I will see a different lifestyle, I'm going to see success. And success can mean a lot of different things, but I am going to see a change for my family. A life where we don't have to worry that we don't have money to pay the bills, that we don't have to worry about whether or not we can do something because I have to work or I can't pay for it. And I may still have to work a lot, or I may still have to, have some things that I can't do because I'm working. But I want to change the story so that I get to decide what I'm going to do with my life instead of reacting to a job or just trying to scrape by or living this stereotypical life where we live in a decent house in a decent neighborhood and we do the things that American families do, and that's it. I'm really just not that interested in that life. And so I really do believe that over the next couple of years, the story of my life is going to change. And while I might not always be working on the same business, I've decided that the main thing that I need to focus on is myself. I need to focus on self-improvement and developing who I am. And I don't just mean like a personal brand or anything like that. I mean, I need to design the life that I want to live. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And right now, I am literally, well, okay, I shouldn't say I'm at the bottom. Like, it could be a lot worse. And there are people in much, much worse situations. I realize that I have a privilege just for being born into the family that I was born into. Not because of wealth, but because my parents cared about me. I'm a white male in the South, in the United States. Like, I have privilege just inherent to who I am. I'm not living on the street. I have a nice house that I have been able to keep, barely. And I have dealt with foreclosure and not of this house, but of another property. I've dealt with lots of bill collectors and debt, and I'm not in a massive amount of debt, but it's enough that it's very stressful. And there are things that are really causing a lot of anxiety, and I don't know from month to month whether I'm going to be able to pay the mortgage. There's just, it's a rough spot. Like, it's not at all what I would call success, but I believe that I'm going to get there, and I want to document the process. I want to be able to say, yeah, see, look back at 2018, and you'll see it sucked. Like, that was the bottom, and I was there, and I made it out. And this is how I did it, and it took doing these things. So what are these things? I don't know yet. I'm going to figure that out, and as I figure that out, I'd like to document it. The first thing this week was get a grip on what has been causing all of this anxiety, and put it on paper and start making a plan and attack it a little bit at a time. It's better than not doing anything, because not doing anything is only making it worse. Right? So you have to do something about it. Right now in my business, a really short version of the story is that I started basically offering services as an agency, essentially, about a year ago, and was not able to fulfill 100% of all of the projects that I started. And so people have paid money for a service that hasn't been 100% delivered yet. And there are a lot of reasons for that. It's not all my fault. There are a lot of things where people paid for something, but they weren't quite ready for it, or I needed to do other things that weren't included in a package that they paid for. And I didn't charge them extra to do that, but they're still expecting me to do the things that were in the original package. And I just didn't do a good job of maintaining boundaries and having clear terms and structuring my packages in a way that could compensate for that kind of thing. So I've learned a lot of things through this. And going forward, if I want to keep this business going, I need to maintain cash flow. All right, so I have to have new business coming in. But it's almost enough to stop me from having new business coming in that I'm embarrassed about the way that things have gone with old business. I don't want to put out the fact that I'm taking new clients whenever I'm afraid that my old clients might say, yeah, but you didn't ever actually finish the thing that you were supposed to do for me. I don't recommend this service. But I can't let that stop me anymore. I have to go ahead and start with something new that I know I can deliver every time, on time, that's not creating more of a backlog, and still work on doing the right thing for the people who have already paid me. So that's kind of the story. That's what I'm working on going forward. After I can get this sorted out, and I do have a few steps that I've planned out. After this can get sorted out, I really do have several other really good ideas. Ways to make income, ways to make this business grow, ways to automate this business. Just a lot of things that I've always wanted to do that I haven't been able to do. I also want to dig into a lot of other personal development things. I want to get back in shape. I want to read more. I want to become a better speaker. I'm going to be doing a big public speaking engagement in less than 3 months, and I'm going to be preparing for that, and I would like to document that process. So there's a lot to document, a lot. I feel like this is the bottom, and then I'm starting from the beginning, but again, I take for granted the fact that I already have been working hard for 2 or 3 years on getting to the point where I can even believe that this is going to do what I've always wanted it to do. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm documenting the process. I'm going to make this work, and I want my future self, I want you, whoever's watching this, to be able to follow along, to be able to hopefully be inspired that you don't have to have it all together to just start doing it. Hopefully I can talk about some of the struggles of doing this kind of thing, and I can figure it out and be able to share that to maybe give some insight to someone else who's trying to figure this out in the future. Maybe my kids. That would be so cool if one day my kids are having an issue where they go and they can find advice that I had to figure out and recorded so that they can know what I was going through at the time. All right, so I don't know how often I'm going to do this. I'm not going to try to make it like every day or even once a week. I would like for it to be like once a week or something like that, but I just want it to be informal. I'm not going to cut this. My computer's still not really good for video editing, so I'm just going to talk to the camera. I'm going to put it on my channel, and I'm going to keep documenting. And hopefully, as I do that, I'll come up with a process, and maybe I can make shorter clips that are videos that serve a purpose or can go on Instagram, or it's probably going to be really crazy watching this one day in like 20 years or 30 years and be like, he was talking about Instagram. You remember Instagram? Anyway, I don't know the plan. There's not a plan for documentation. I just want to try to document the process because I know that if I don't, I'm going to regret it. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully you're interested. I'd love to hear from you. So leave a comment if it's something that you're watching and you want to follow along. If you have specific questions, or if you've been going through something similar to something that I talk about in one of these videos, make sure to leave a comment and let me know you're there. It'll definitely mean a lot to me. All right, see you next time.